Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody, a triumph of music that has remained one of the world's most beloved songs for over 40 years. Powerful, intoxicating, and as we have come to find, is an anthem for those who long to finally be themselves. Although released in 1975 on Queen's Night at the Opera album and recorded earlier that year, this song has a history spanning Freddie Mercury's entire life. 10 years before it will be presented to the rest of the band, Freddie Mercury has an idea for a song that will become one of the greatest compositions the world has ever seen. And would you believe it, its original working title was The Cowboy Song. And the line, "Mama just killed a man," was originally intended to have a Western theme. One has to wonder what that might have sounded like.
Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide, no escape from reality.
Thankfully, Freddie didn't continue down the cowboy path, but rather wove together a story showcasing a cacophony of obscure classical characters, proving not only how well-read Freddie was, but also his interests in literature, religion, and art. Scaramouche, the clown, Galileo, the astronomer, Figaro from The Marriage of Figaro, and even Beelzebub, otherwise known as Satan, Prince of Demons, Lord of Flies. To say that Freddie was one hell of a lyricist would be an infernal understatement. And to understand the true meaning behind the lyrics, we're going to need the words of those closest to the songwriter, starting with Leslie Ann Jones, author of Mercury, an intimate biography of Freddie Mercury, who recounts a magical one-on-one conversation with the song's iconic creator. Leslie says, "Having his undivided attention for a few moments, I put to him my theories about these characters. Scaramouche, I ventured, had to be Freddie himself, with a penchant for the tears of a clown motif. Galileo was obviously astronomer, astrophysicist, and mathematician Brian May. Beelzebub must be Roger Taylor, the band's wildest party animal, while Figaro was perhaps not the operatic character at all, but the tuxedo kitten in Walt Disney's 1940 animated classic Pinocchio, a dead ringer for pussycat John Deacon. Well, Freddie did adore his feline friends." When Freddie didn't say a word to Jones upon hearing her theory, Jones felt his silence confirmed her suspicions. But Freddie maintained that the song was really about relationships in a vague sense, and as he puts it, a bit of nonsense in the middle. But to really understand the song that sparked so many theories, let's go to the day he showed it to the band. In 1975, Freddie Mercury has already composed Bohemian Rhapsody. And what did he write it on? Telephone books and endless scraps of paper. Lead guitarist Dr. Brian May says, when he first turned up with it, he seemed to have the whole thing worked out in his head. And thus, on August 24th, 1975, the band got to work recording. Over 160 overdubs, harmonies performed by Brian May, Roger Taylor, and Freddie crowded around a single microphone, operatic sections that took over 70 hours to record. 70 hours! And one of the most iconic guitar solos of all time, performed by Brian May. But Brian didn't actually write the solo. Freddie even wrote the solo too. Brian says, "The heavy bit was a great opportunity for us to be at full pelt as a rock band, but that big heavy riff came from Freddie, not me. That was something he played with his left hand in octaves on the piano, so I had that as a guide And that's very hard to do because Freddie's piano playing was exceptional, although he didn't think so. In fact, he thought he was a bit of a mediocre piano player and stopped doing it later on in our career. Although tragic that Freddie felt that way about his incredible ability as a pianist, that piano you hear in the recording of Bohemian Rhapsody is the very same Paul McCartney used to record Hey Jude. But one of the most controversial aspects of the song was its sheer length, coming in at a whopping 5 minutes and 55 seconds. EMI and Elektra both tried to cut chunks of the epic song. Roger Taylor says, "They said it was too long and wouldn't work. We thought, well, we could cut it, but it wouldn't make any sense. It doesn't make much sense now, and it would make even less sense then. You would miss all the different moods of the song. So we said no. It'll either fly or it won't." And fly it did. Introduced by a radio comedian, Kenny Everett, a friend of the band's who ran it on his show, although he was supposed to keep it a secret, the initial airing prompted so many call-in requests that Everett ended up playing Bohemian Rhapsody 14 times over the course of just 2 days. The song was a smash hit. Bohemian Rhapsody spent an incredible 9 consecutive weeks at the top of British charts, an achievement no British band, including the Beatles, had ever done before. So apparently, the length wasn't an issue at all. And speaking of length, that sister piano song Hey Jude was even longer. Pop and song length had apparently changed forever. So the song's a hit, but what does it mean? We get some insight from Freddie's longtime friend and famous composer, Tim Rice. Tim says, "It's fairly obvious to me that this was Freddie's coming out song. There is a very clear message contained in it. This is Freddie admitting that he is gay. Mama, I just killed a man. He's killed the old Freddie he was trying to be, the former image. Put a gun against his head, pulled my trigger, now he's dead. He's dead, the straight person he was originally. He destroyed the man he was trying to be, and now this is him, trying to live with the new Freddie." You see, Freddie had been raised in a religious Parsi community and would have never been able to be who he truly was without offending his parents and their religion. Tim Rice wasn't the only one who thought it was about Freddie coming to terms with his sexuality. According to Freddie's longtime lover, Jim Hutton, who says, Bohemian Rhapsody was Freddie's confessional. It was about how different his life could have been and how much happier he might have been had he just been able to be himself, the whole of his life. The world heard this song as a masterpiece of imagination, a great command of musical styles. It was this remarkable tapestry. It was so intricate and had so many layers, but the message, if hidden, was simple. Just as the management, the band, all of us in his life never admitted that Freddie was even ill, not until the day before he died, because it was his business. He felt the same about this song. However simple, the message is more important now than ever. A person having to hide who they truly are because society has its own horribly antiquated bigotry. And nothing rings more powerful than when we hear Freddie Mercury calmly sing, "Nothing really matters, anyone can see, nothing really matters to me." A man wrote here a song that encourages us to let our true selves out and to not be ashamed of what we are, to let go of the things we think matter and love who we truly are.